What you will see is a vehicle to multiple lenders for various businesses that you may not be aware of. It's a multi-trillion-dollar business that pays producers and a program that does not require a license. It's the FEG Business Lending Portal. It provides borrowers exposure to business lending sources that they would normally not be exposed to. We have over 3,500 lenders that help provide financing for startups and growing businesses, helping them to increase efficiency, having more clients being funded, higher funded amounts, and competing lenders that will provide better terms. Here is the problem. Per the Forbes magazine, June 2014, it stated that depending on which survey you read, as few as 10% of small businesses will get a small business loan at the local bank. Nevertheless, that's the first place it will go because many of them don't know about the myriad of options available to solve their specific needs for capital to fuel growth, fund working capital, or facilitate capital improvement. What's the solution? The Freedom Equity Group lending platform, connecting business borrowers to 3,500 plus lenders. We have funding for all types of businesses: startups, working capital, installment loans, SBA lending, leasing, factoring, purchase orders, real estate, private capital, and many others. We help individuals also obtain unsecured lending. We work to find financing for companies regardless of the industry, time in business, credit score, or most other reasons they may have been declined before. We have more than 40 types of business loans. We have in the category of credit lending. We have working capital, possibility of buying out a partner, bank loans, doctor loans, acquisition funding, term line of credits. We also provide some equity venture funding. However, you need to have a special Series 7 license in order to help put loans or venture programs through that system. We also provide equipment financing for purchasing new and old equipment, equipment leasing, equipment leaseback. We also do asset-based lending for factoring, accounts receivable financing, any inventory financing. We also provide real estate lending, commercial real estate, both owner-occupied and non-owner-occupied. With the assistance of the SBA, we can do SBA lending, bridge financing, construction loan, hard money financing. We also provide the financing for investor properties, both 1 to 4 units as well as 5+ units, and other options being hotels or motels. So what you can see here is that the FEG lending platform provides multiple types of business loans. Our lenders include large banks, small banks, private lenders, and specialty lenders. There is no fee for our services, which means that the borrower gets to negotiate for the best terms and pricing. We have now, as I mentioned earlier, more than 40 different types of loans available. And depending on the size and the type of loan, funding will take generally anywhere from 3 days to 6 weeks. How does it work? The requirements of 3,500 plus approved and verified lenders are sitting in the lending database. The business information and needs are put into a simple online questionnaire by the borrower. It takes approximately 10 to 15 minutes. There is no documentation required upon submission. Our unique proprietary software will match lenders with the business borrowing needs, very similar to a Match.com, where the lenders, based on their requirements, will be matched up with the borrower's need requirements. Up to 3 to 5 lenders will contact the company directly to discuss their needs. With multiple lenders, a borrower can now negotiate for the best terms. The benefits to the borrower. This program will assist them in growing their business, fulfill their business and operational goals, and like I mentioned earlier, a simple questionnaire that requires only 10 to 15 minutes to complete. It provides them the opportunity to connect businesses with multiple lenders that seek their vision and dreams for their business. The benefits to you: you get to assist owners in growing their business and achieving their operational goals. It's a great door opener to speak with business owners about cross-selling additional products. And it also, as we discussed earlier, is providing a simple process that does not require a license. It's a quick and easy way to augment your income by being paid a portion of the fees paid by the lender. We call it diversification without distraction. The marketing opportunities for this lending platform, not only at an individual level with small business owners, you have the ability to market this platform with local Chamber of Commerce groups, commercial real estate agents, various associations, unions, minority business programs, even the local banks. You become a resource for customers that have declined on the local banks' programs. Now, there was an interesting statistic in 2013, over $2 trillion were lent out to businesses. And of those, that $2 trillion, only 7% was loaned by big banks. CPAs and attorneys are a great resource. CPAs, perfect resource. They're constantly working with small businesses. And one of the biggest concerns that small businesses have is access to capital. In fact, that is the #1 Google search for small businesses. And small businesses rely heavily on their CPAs, and CPAs see that small businesses struggle with getting access to capital. They see the fact that they go to their local banks, and the local banks have very tough restrictions in lending. So CPAs are a great resource. And not only that, but it becomes a great resource because if they get lending through this platform, a lot of the platform lenders are going to require certain information from the borrower, which in turn the CPA will assist that borrower to provide the lender. So it's another value-add service, and of course now the CPAs can charge for that service. You can use local free advertising like Craigslist, local merchant bank service providers. I've had meetings with various local bank service providers, merchant bank service providers, and they see this as a great opportunity because they're working with a lot of small businesses providing merchant banking. A lot of these small business owners see this as an opportunity that they can tap into this lending platform to provide them some lending that they need. Merchant banks, service companies see this as another value add and basically cross-selling additional services. You will sign in, you'll get registered, and you'll get a login account number. Once you log in, this is basically when you go to the funding portal, this is your home page. You'll have an account, you log in. Once you log in, you'll have an email and you'll be assigned a password. This is basically the first page of the lending platform. And on the first page is the main page where you will enter a questionnaire on behalf of the borrower. So in this case here, you would hit the button over to the right here, new questionnaire, and you'll get a questionnaire that looks very similar to this. You'll get an icon with an ID number. You click on that ID number, and you'll have 4 categories: personal profile, business questions, loan questions. These categories, each one of these categories has a series of questions. A lot of the questions are drop-down questions. So if we walk through this, on the personal profile, they'll identify and ask for the full name of the individual, of the proprietor of the business. So you put in their full name, their email, their primary phone number, and the phone type. And it'll be a drop-down. Now there's an icon here that says Send Questionnaire to Client. You have the option to send this loan questionnaire to the client directly. And what the system will do is use the email address that you provided on the second line. I strongly suggest that you complete this questionnaire on their behalf, because what that means is that it will be completed in full. They don't have to have exact information, as you will see when we go through this, but what it will do is provide you the knowledge that the questionnaire was completed completely and it was submitted timely. So let's proceed through the personal information on the profile. They'll ask for second number, the phone type, the best time to call, drop-down menu. Then they'll ask for the person's address, zip code, city and state, the date of birth. They'll ask for their personal credit score, and there's ranges of their personal credit score. They'll ask questions like, have you claimed bankruptcy in the last 7 years? Yes or no. Are you interested in learning how to improve your personal credit profile? If you are, the service team on the Lending platform has providers that will assist you if you need to improve that personal credit profile. Then you hit next. You go to the business profile. You provide them the business name, phone number, full address of the business. They'll ask questions like the type of business, C Corp, S Corp, limited liability corporation. Select one. The type of industry, a whole variety of industries here. The date the business started, how long the company has been in business. Again, another drop-down selection. They want to know the current ownership since date, the number of employees. It's very important. The default is 0. You need to put a minimum of 1, or else the application will not be deemed complete. So have them put in the number of employees. Are you interested in learning how to improve or establish a business credit profile? Again, yes or no, and this will assist that company. They have services that will assist the company in improving the business credit profile. Once that section is complete, go next. Now we'll answer the business questions. These questions are all drop-downs. What was your company's total revenue last year? Again, drop-downs. You don't need exact data. Just ask the small business owner for an approximate dollar amount and then identify the range. What was your total company revenue over the past 12 months? Again, drop down. Your company's average monthly sales. Your company's total revenue year to date. Pretty simple process. What's your monthly volume of credit card sales? Your primary customer transaction type. Is it B2B, B2C, business to government? What's the total company's receivables aging? Any collateral? What type of collateral? If you have collateral, approximate value. Again, very simple drop-down answers. What was your company's total profits last year? Profit before tax. Company's monthly debt payments, including the mortgage. Also the rent, the leases, loans. They want to get an approximate value of what that is on a monthly basis for you. They ask other questions. Do you have any insurance to pay off any business debt in the event of something unforeseen? Yes or no. The percent of your business do you own? They want to know the person completing this, what percent do they own of the business? They'll ask questions if you'd like to know a little bit more about getting a business continuation analysis. Then you get to the next question, loan questionnaires. They're asking questions like how much money you are seeking in financing. So they're asking for a range in dollar amount. When do you need that financing? Do you need it immediately, a month from now, 2 months from now? And then they're asking you the loan purpose. What I need to stress with you is that you can only check a maximum of 3. Not 3 in each category, but 3 in total. So what you would do is identify the category. So let's say someone was owned some commercial real estate and needed to get financing. So what you would do is check off commercial real estate owner-occupied, the SBA 7(a) lending, and the SBA 504. Again, no more than 3. Find the category, the funds that you need, and only select 3. Towards the bottom here, what I would suggest is that you give as much additional information as possible about what the company's profile is. And what this will do is provide the lenders with an understanding of any uniqueness of that particular company, or maybe anything that may affect their credit, or maybe anything associated with what the true purpose of the funds are. Now, what I have to, after this section is complete, you're pretty much done with the questionnaire. Now, what will happen here is that if there are any questions that are unanswered in each section, there'll be a red circle in between each of these components here, and it'll have a number in red, and it'll state the number of questions that are still open. You need to make sure that every question is answered before the system will allow you to review the full questionnaire and then go ahead and submit it to the loan platform. Okay, so that's pretty much it on preparing a loan questionnaire. What I want to point out here is over to the left in the help section, there's a drop down. You have the ability to go to this first section, which is the training site. If you click on that, we have a training site. And if you notice up on the top, it says Freedom Equity Group Training. And then towards the bottom here, this code says TRN all over. So now you know that you're in the training site. The beauty of this section is that you have the ability to put in some test questionnaires. So it gives you the chance to understand the type of questions. I would highly recommend that you create a new questionnaire, because once you receive your portal, you will not have any of these questionnaires already set up in your back. So what you would do is just hit New Questionnaire, and you can start to fully complete a questionnaire very similar to the one you will use in the live section of this portal. And again, I highly recommend that you go through this. Again, under the Help section, there are facts. There's a Contact Us page. If you have any questions related to anything that you're doing, all you would need to do is put a subject, and then in the body, basically write down your question, and within 24 hours, someone will get back to you with an email from the lending platform. I also want to point out that there's a quick tutorial, a user's manual, and then over here on the video tutorials, if you click on that section, there's a variety of videos that will explain how to enter a loan questionnaire. Okay, so I would highly recommend that you work in this help section before you start to enter any new loans. Now, once you're in the help section, to get back to a live questionnaire section, you just go to Production Site here on the left. You click on that, and you will notice that you're back to the live. It says Freedom Equity Group, no longer training is there. Now, once a loan questionnaire is submitted, you would be able to click on the icon, the ID of that particular questionnaire, and what they will do is provide you another screen that will provide the details of the status of what is happening with that loan questionnaire. So that's pretty much the overview of the loan platform. What I'd like to do is share with you the compensation structure. And the way the compensation structure will work is that the lender, when a borrower gets funded, the lender will pay the loan platform company a fee for that loan. So give you an example, you had a $500,000 commercial loan, and the fees on that loan were 2%. That would be 2% of the $500,000 being $10,000. $10,000 will be paid to the loan platform company, and 50% of that will be shared with Freedom Equity Group. So in this scenario, I put $5,000 in. Now, anyone coming in, they would come in as a representative. The representative would get 20% of the $5,000 fee commission. So I want to show you on this analysis on how your compensation would work. So let's say you did 2 of those deals a month. 2 of those deals a month would provide you a $24,000 residual income off of that activity. Now let's say you did 4 of those deals. That would be double that, $48,000. Now the beauty of our lending platform is that you have the ability, based on loan volume and commission volume, you will move up the commission chain. So let's zero this out. And let's say you move up to the vice president level, which is at 40%. If you did those same 2 loans on a monthly basis, your compensation would be $48,000 over the year. But, like I said, there's a multi-pay structure here, so if you found other individuals that you wanted to add to the program, they would come in and they would also move up the compensation chain. So let's say you brought 3 individuals in, 2 at the 20%. They did 2 deals at the 20% level. Then you had another individual who's at 22% level. They did 2. And then you had someone at the 24% level, and they did 2. So you have 4 individuals that do 2 loans a month. Your total compensation with the overrides, the total overrides on just the individuals that you brought in is basically another $60,000. Okay? So you did 2. You had 3 others that did 2, a total of 8 loans. You made a compensation of $113,000. So let's say someone came in and they performed and got to the level of vice president just like you, and they had a team just like you, okay, where 8 loans were being processed. They would be considered your first generation vice president. So those 8 loans from that individual that became a vice president that you brought in, you would get an override on those 8 deals. So you would get an additional compensation of $38,000 on that vice president. As you can see here, your compensation has now jumped to approximately $151,000. Let's say we went down, that person, that vice president, brought in another high-quality person that recruited people, and they got promoted to vice president. They would be deemed to be your second-level vice president. So if there were 1 vice president at that level, be another $19,000 of additional compensation. Again, you did 2 loans a month, and the balance of your compensation was on the efforts of the other individuals pushing through loans through this loan platform. What I wanted to do is I could go on, and obviously you could see how this can grow, but I wanted to share with you on how the compensation works. You can work by yourself or with a team. As you work with a team, it's more residual passive income to you.